Alright, of course we weren't recording. Of course, never stream in VR, kids. Okay, hello there. I'm Chachi Sanchez, the VR Citizen, and today I'm going to show you the ABCs of Star Citizen's native VR support. But first, those of you wanting to give or get the gift of VR for this holiday season, be sure to check out my Pimax referral links down below, where you can stack up to $120 in savings with the holiday deals and discount code VRCitizen80 depending on your headset. All of that information will be in the description and pinned in the comment section below. DM me if you got a Pimax in the past few days using my referral links, and I'll see about applying the Christmas discount code retroactively. With that out of the way, let's get down to business. The most important tip and trick: join the Discord. We have troubleshooting channels to help you fix common issues. If you have some weird side case or problem, then we have a channel somewhere that will help you out. With that being said, there are over 40 headsets made in the past 2 decades across 6 different manufacturers, each of them with their own OS and VR runtime. OpenXR is doing a lot of the heavy lifting for us, getting them all to work nicely enough, but there are always going to be inherent issues because of how VR is. The entire backbone of this support system is you guys. I can't possibly keep up right now. The only way I'm even able to keep my head above water is because of you guys, and that the fact that you're able to help each other out when I'm not there. Whether it's my dedicated mod team or random people giving random tips to each other for performance issues, this is all done by the VR Citizen community for the VR Citizen community. There's even a whole section dedicated to people writing down how they start up Star Citizen in VR with their headsets and their own setups. To use the Discord, simply verify right here with the thumb, and then come down to the roles and pick whichever headset you own. This will help us ping each other, that way we can get direct help from those that know how. Next, come down all the way to VR Citizen and set up instructions. This is where we have by headset a whole bunch of different posts of a whole bunch of different people telling how that they get their VR headsets up and running. So if you're looking to get going and you don't know where to start, this is a pretty good place. With that being said, there's also, like I said, Valve Index and Yall Motion 3 Simulator. I have no clue how to do any of this. So if you guys have specific setups that you think others might need help with in the future, list your startup sequences here. Thank you for doing the voodoo that you do and helping everybody out. Even if you don't like me or my content, if you want VR Citizen to get better, then tell us there. Sylvan and the CIG devs are over at the Verse Discord all the time, and they are constantly reading messages and replying to people who need help, as well as my dedicated VR tester team that have been making sure this is as smooth a transition as possible for everybody wanting to play in VR. If you want your voices to be heard and read by CIG developers on issues about VR, then you have to drop by the Verse Discord. Now, onto some general tips and tricks. First off, if you are running in Steam VR and are getting low frame rate or it's choppy, you can quickly set the resolution slider here in the options menus. Some headsets will default to a higher resolution because it's not doing the math correctly for both eyes. Set this to 50 or even 30% just to get up and running. Then you can always work your way up from there. Next, in the Star Citizen menus, go through to each one of them and turn off any and all motion, auto zoom, vibrate, head bob, extra movement settings. If you don't do this, you're gonna have a bad time. I'll have a dedicated performance tips and tricks video coming out soon with other VR headsets as I can test them. Bear with me as I'm a very busy boy this holiday season since I got all of my Christmas gifts early. Now, to the ABCs of VR Citizen. A. Adjust game menus. Theater mode. If you are trying to see the game menus in VR and they feel too far away, then you will need to swap into theater mode by pressing left alt numpad 5 to navigate them. When in theater mode, the game will appear as a giant floating screen flat in front of you, in a 3D space like you were playing in a theater. Some people might prefer this mode for FPS gameplay as well, as it tends to reduce motion sickness. But for those with an iron stomach like me, I go for full immersion. Another video on FPS tips and tricks soon. Be sure to use visor sliders, HUD elements. For now, some quick tips and tricks to getting VR visuals working well for you would be to go into the comms VoIP menu settings and then going over to the visor sliders. Use these sliders to move the chat, HP, MO, ship holo, target holo, mobi-glass map around in your FOV. This will be useful for those that want to try their luck with flight combat and get the most out of all the new systems with VR. C is for combat FPS modes, gunplay. Once I am settled into my new Pimax room, I will be able to do a deep dive on FPS with Star Citizen. For now, we will just go over the 2 different aiming modes and how they operate, as my last video I was still trying to figure out how to record all of this stuff. You are going to want to go to the VR settings in the comms VoIP menus. From there, go down to actor control mode. The default setting is going to be grounded mode, which is going to be a stable image between your mouse aim and head tracking. You will still be able to head track independently anytime you want off of the gun. When you move your mouse, your camera will move with it, keeping aligned with where you are aiming. However, your physical head IRL will not move, so this might cause some issues with motion sickness, depending on who you are. The other mode is called direct offset mode. This mode will separate your mouse aim and head tracking. With this mode active, you can move the mouse and it will aim your gun arms, but it will not move your head camera controls. This is a more immersive mode and easier to play with, but comes with its own quirks, being that you will need to aim down the gun barrel to be able to shoot. Like the other modes, you can head track off of the gun at any time, even when ADSing. So far with the current implementation, F-zoom, scopes, and anything that would act like binoculars are disabled with VR mode. But that doesn't stop you from seeing the actual eye relief with a sniper scope and head tracking.
I think that just went a little bit left of him. I'm like just 1 pixel. Got him! There we go. Oh yeah.
The future is looking bright indeed. C is for console commands, CVARs, and special settings. Over on the Verse Discord, we have all of the known console commands and CVARs that will allow you to go and adjust settings for many different things, including UI elements, on the fly without having to go back and forth between theater mode, which some people might find more comfortable due to their particular setup. I haven't even had time to look at most of these myself, but we'll have another dedicated video soon going all over them and what they do. For now, you can see them all listed here on the Discord. So we go here to VR tester and then pinned and jump and then boom. You have all these stuff here with explanations of what they do. A lot of these have been added into the VR menus now and the latest recent patches, but if you wanted to just be able to do these with console commands, here some of them are. Thank you Discord mods for all the help with all of this stuff. I'm trying to keep this as short as possible because I could go on for hours and hours about all the different ways all the different headsets can interact with the new VR support for Star Engine. But I'm going to cut it here so I can focus on getting more data for you guys to help you out as much as I can. This has been the absolute worst timing for me in particular to get native VR support, as I am building a new VR room and waiting on the electrician for power outlets so I can move into it. I haven't been able to stream because I lose 60% of my bitrate on my current ISP. I just got a new ISP today that got in the way of me uploading this video. And to top it all off, I need to buy a 5090 now that I have a Pimax. With all of that being said, I still hope that all of those that are able to finally be VR citizens are having the times of your lives, now that we have full native support. None of us thought that this day would be here so soon, but I'm glad that we are all able to have a very merry VR Christmas. I now look to your voodoo that you all do so well down below to like, subscribe, and comment and help the algo get me to the top. I want as many people as possible to know what's possible with Star Citizen in VR, and that all comes down to your help here on my channel. As always, if you see me live on Twitch, drop by and say hello there. Hang out and help me get partnered over the next few weeks and months as I stream in VR more than ever before. Thanks for the voodoo that you do, and until next time, stay safe, fly right. I'm Chachi Sanchez. Y'all have a good night. Booyah! That was good. That was good. I think people will like that one.
Cerveza cristal, cerveza